Good morning, PTI Nice Daily Show. Happy Thursday morning. Hope your Thursday is off to a good start so far. My name is Alan. I'll be your host today. Faculty member in our Fitness Athlete Division, also serving as COO of the Institute of Clinical Excellence. It's Thursday. That means it's Gut Check Thursday. If you didn't catch it, it's a nice little 12-minute AMRAP of some dumbbell work, some dumbbell snatches, dumbbell overhead lunge, and then dumbbell box step-ups. So a little bit less grueling than the stuff we've been posting the last couple weeks. Morning, Nick. I see you over there on Facebook. Some courses coming up, a lot of online courses finishing and then restarting in July. Fitness Athlete Essential Foundations with myself and Mitch is starting July 6th. Persistent Pain Management with Justin Dunaway also starting July 6th. Modern Managing the Older Adult Essential Foundations with Dustin and Christina is starting July 8th. And then some live courses coming the middle of July and into the end of July. You can catch Total Spine Thrust with Justin in Santa Barbara on July 11th or Nebraska on July 25th. You can catch Lumbar Spine Management with Jeff this weekend if you are in the Danbury, Connecticut area, or again in Nebraska on July 11th. You can catch Cervical Spine Management in Tulsa, Oklahoma on July 18th with Jordan, or Phoenix, Arizona, hopefully July 25th. And then Extremity Management with Lindsay Huey will be August 1st down at Delta PT in Baton Rouge. So let's get into what we are talking about today. We're talking about diversifying your business, and we're going to tackle it from a couple different angles. We're going to first approach it from diversity as far as racial ethnic diversity and what that means and what that looks like for a business, and how that leads into then diversifying your offerings, diversifying your revenue streams, and kind of what that can mean, lessons learned from COVID-19, and hopefully some stuff that you all are working on or have already begun to implement. In the case that something like this ever happens again, you don't find yourself as a single stream, single revenue stream business that can get shut down by only offering one single product, one single service. So let's tackle the first part. Let's talk about diversity as we refer to it from racial and ethnic diversity. The thing you should know is that reading things from Forbes and in business magazines and in business literature, what does it say about diversity? It's the most competitive advantage a business can have. That when we look at companies and we look at how diverse their workforce is, male to female, white to people of color, when we look at that range of diversity, the most diverse companies produce 15 times more revenue than the least diverse companies, the companies that are made up of one very small, similar group of people. So diversity pays. How does that work? When we look at diversity outweighing the number of employees, the experience of employees, the number of physical locations, the product offerings, that comes down to just really having people from different backgrounds, people with different experiences who can offer more innovative ideas. When we look at companies, why do they make more revenue than less diverse companies? That's because they're able to come up with different ideas, new ideas, and offer more revenue streams to the company than a company that is less diverse. So you have more innovation, you reach more populations, and you overall have less of this groupthink mentality. And I think of what we're doing here at ICE to increase our diversity, and I think of some conversations I've had with one of our teaching assistants. You see him now on Mondays. You see Guillermo talking on PTI and ICE on Mondays. And just some conversations I've been able to have with him over the past couple weeks, and just getting almost an entirely, completely different perspective on some things, and how appreciative I've been of a different point of view of somebody from a different background with different experiences and what that can bring to the table. And so if that's just one person, imagine on your workforce if you can have multiple people from multiple different backgrounds and what that can do for you. We also look at diversity as something called the growth edge. If you are in virtual ICE, hopefully you caught Tuesday night's virtual ICE with Lisa Van Hoos. She talked to us a lot about this topic, and she talked about this concept called a growth edge, especially as it relates to racial and ethnic breakdowns of your local geographic area. That when we take a population health mindset to our business and look at who are the majority of people walking into a PT clinic, what are those demographics, and where is the growth edge in PT, we see that the number one consumer of PT services is a moderate to higher income white woman. So we see middle to upper class white female is the number one consumer of PT resources. And so if we step back and look at who is walking into to our clinic? Is it kind of wealthier white ladies? And if it is, that means we're not reaching a huge area of the population that not only needs our services, but that can help us expand our business. And so when we look at where PT happens, it tends to happen in wealthier urban areas and suburban areas, and it happens in kind of these boutique-style clinics in a gentrified area of town, and it doesn't really happen out in more poor areas and more rural areas. Lisa on Tuesday night shared a great resource. We shared it yesterday in Hump Day Hustling called the Rural Health Information Hub. I highly recommend you check out that website. It's very, very fascinating. I was looking at it yesterday after learning about it from Lisa and looking at our county here in Michigan, Genesee County, and finding that for health outcomes, Genesee is ranked 81st out of 83rd. So third from the bottom in health outcomes. And why is that? We have a very high premature death rate. We have overall very poor health. 20% of all people here smoke. 40% are obese, and 30% are completely physically inactive. And so from a health outcomes perspective, that's not good. But what's really cool about that resource is you can also see what health resources are available to people. And looking at our same county here in Michigan, we see that we have a surprising amount of primary care providers. We have more dentists than primary care providers, and that 93% of all people carry insurance. So what does that say? That says there's a large group of people who need PT services that we're not reaching that are able to pay for it. They're able to carry insurance. We just need to find out how to break down those barriers and reach those people. That's obviously not only good for their health, but good for your business as well if you're able to reach a completely different market than you're currently reaching. And again, looking at that, you can see what's the education ratio in your county. And here, almost everybody has a high school diploma, and almost 3/4 of people have at least a bachelor's degree. So again, the resources are there. We just need to figure out how to tap into them. And so we have tons of people who are just a stone's throw away, who need care, who can afford care, who have the education to maybe know that they need the care. We're just not reaching them. So how do we get them that care? Different avenues here. If you're not aware, if you're a provider that takes Medicare insurance, yes, you can of course see those patients in the clinic, but you can also go out to their home and do what's called a Part B home visit. So it's not home health, but you can go to someone's home, you can go to their assisted living facility, you can go meet them out in the community where they're at, and you can see them for an outpatient visit. Now, it won't be obviously as profitable as home health because there isn't sort of any additional increase for the drive time, the drive mileage, that sort of thing, but you can still have your clinicians go out and get into the community and see those patients. We can also start to operate things like satellite clinics. Can we set up a satellite clinic maybe one day a week out in the community, maybe out where the people that need the help the most are living, and set up a satellite community, a satellite clinic in the community, and maybe see people one day a week? Again, here knowing that 93% of people have insurance, having them come to that clinic, try and keep the overhead low, and see people where they're at out in the community for PT services. And then finally, of course, telehealth. Being able to reach these people remotely. Telehealth is massive impact for rural communities, but also just to reach people who may face barriers. Maybe they're not out in the country, maybe they're not out in a rural area, maybe they're just down the road, but especially now in the time of COVID-19, they just are stuck at home, maybe their kids are stuck at home, they just can't get to the clinic to see you physically, so can you reach them by telehealth? So a lot of different ways to reach these people who need our help the most, and just another way that diversity can help improve your business. And all of those, diversifying your own workforce, diversifying the patient populations that you reach, increase revenue stream diversity, which is probably the most important thing you can do from a business aspect to improve the health of your business. So we know that 3/4 of all businesses fail to move beyond their initial product or service offering. So you set up shop, you start seeing patients, you get referrals from a physician, maybe you're working with patients who come in post-op surgery, and you never really move out of that kind of narrow box that you've put yourself in. And so the key to any business, PT or not, is to avoid that dependence on any single revenue source. A great book on this is Diversification Reconsidered. And there's a great quote I love from this book: "The only way to safeguard against future financial crises is to continually be on the lookout for new markets in order to build a growing portfolio of customers. So just never being satisfied with what you're offering, always trying to expand the patients that you're reaching, the services in regards to PT that you're able to offer, and asking yourself, what are you doing right now to go beyond just evaluating and treating your normal patient population? Are you just seeing middle to upper class white ladies? If you are, what are you doing to reach other patient populations, to reach people of color out in the community, to reach athletes, to do things that maybe we aren't considered traditional PT? Are you ready for telehealth? Are you still using paper documentation? Are you ready to make the digital swap and able to offer telehealth? Do you have the technology, the ability and understanding of how to bill for it? Are you ready to do telehealth? Hopefully you've begun to initiate that in your clinic over the past couple months. It's not that difficult. I'm going to plug Rob Vining's course through ICE, of course, on building your practice, building your telehealth practice. But Rob also has a lot of great free resources on just trying to get the ball rolling initially on setting up telehealth. Are you fitness forward? Are you fitness and wellness oriented? Do you have the ability and equipment in your clinic that if your clinic shuts down again for PT visits, or that patient referral system you have kind of dries up, if you're in a state that's starting to enter lockdown or maybe is going back into lockdown, do you have the capability to bring people into the clinic and do things like one-on-one personal training? Do you know how to analyze Olympic weightlifting, analyze somebody's running? A lot of folks are running now. Can you look at somebody's gait, assess their running, give them homework to improve their form, some accessory work to improve their running? Do you have the ability to assess somebody's aerobic capacity and calculate things like fatigue fall-off factor? We talk a lot about that in our exercise physiology course, about how to really drill down on aerobic capacity, assess somebody's weak areas with their training, and give them programming based on their weak areas. Are you able to do all that other stuff that maybe we don't consider to be traditional physical therapy, but that can help keep your doors open in the event that you have to shut to seeing people physically one-on-one in your clinic? Can you pivot? Can you take a truck full of kettlebells and medicine balls to the parking lot of a company and have those folks do a parking lot workout at lunch? Can you go to the park and have a park workout, like a sort of maintenance program for some of your patients just to keep them moving? Do you have the ability and equipment to do that? If not, again, ask yourself, what are you doing to try and expand your offerings and get away from just being a single revenue stream business? Do you understand nutrition? Can you offer remote nutrition coaching to help people stay on track while their gym is closed? Do you have the knowledge of what a solid nutritional plan looks like? We talk a lot about macronutrients and different diet styles in our exercise physiology course. Are you prepared to do that? Do you have a bunch of different ways to basically make money if your traditional way of seeing patients in the clinic shuts down? If not, again, what are you doing to kind of work on those weak areas? Especially, a lot of us can get complacent. Maybe we went into lockdown and our clinic is open again and we're just back to business and we're not considering what's going on. Never stop thinking about that. What else can we be offering? Here at Health HQ, we just brought on our good friend Joellen. It's her first day. She's sitting across from me right now, and she is a women's health specialist. So she is different in what she can offer than Mitch and myself, which is kind of just traditional outpatient orthopedic PT with a specialty in treating CrossFitters and weightlifters. What are you doing to bring on a PT who can reach a different spot of the population, or training your current PTs to be able to reach those different populations? So what are you doing right now to go beyond just evaluating and treating your normal patient population? And hopefully you know who that is, and if you don't, that's worth looking at your data and seeing who are the people that I normally treat. What is their racial and ethnic makeup? Are they kind of all the same person? Are we reaching different areas of the population? If not, use those tools like that Rural Health Information Hub to find out where those people are and what barriers you might perceive to being able to treat them. So focus on not only diversifying your own workforce, sorry, I almost canceled Facebook. Diversifying your own workforce, diversifying the patients that you can reach, and diversifying your overall patient population, not only in race and ethnic breakup, but in what they do and what services they might need from you. Being able to offer higher level athletic services to them, but also being able to go out and meet them in the community where they are with things like Part B home visits and satellite clinics and telehealth. So diversify your workforce, your patient population, and that will help you create more diverse revenue streams that will make you more lockdown and quarantine resistant in the future. So we're happy to talk about this. I'm not the expert at all in this, but happy to point you to a bunch of different resources. Again, if you're a virtual ICE member, you have access to Lisa's talk from Tuesday night. We plan to have a lot more invited guests talking on topics like these throughout the next year of virtual ICE. So if you're a virtual ICE member, you'll continue to get plugged into those talks. But consider that. Some of that stuff is not stuff you can take action on right now today, but you can start to move the ball on analyzing some of that data and recognizing where are your weak areas, where are your blind spots, how can you address those and improve, not only to improve the patients that you can reach, but that translates, as it usually does, into better business overall for your clinic. So that's all I got for you. Make sure you're signed up for Hump Day Hustling. We've been sharing a lot of research like this and content like this over the past couple weeks, and we'll continue to do so. We're dedicated every single week to talk about more diversity-related issues in Hump Day Hustling. So make sure you're signed up. ptinice.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for Hump Day Hustling. Make sure you hit Gut Check Thursday, and then check out some of those digital products that I talked about. Exercise physiology, TMD management, start to reach different areas of the population than you're currently able to. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.